Dana, you were talking on the conference call about the challenges Derek's had to deal with going through multiple systems and all that. What are the challenges there for you and for him, and to make it all work, and how you're also able to balance his running versus his passing?
Yeah, he's such a good kid and he works hard and I think he's got a ton of experience, so he understands the game of football. Anytime things are new, it takes a little time. I alluded to after the game last week. They Washington State is pretty good on offense. They've been there 8 years. So they've been hearing the same thing for 8 years. And that quarterback was a transfer, but he's going into his third year. So it just takes some time. We've been here 8 months, and that's not an excuse. We got to get good quick. And unfortunately, we didn't score enough points to be able to win last week. Didn't hold them to less than what we scored. But it's all about conference play here moving forward, and we got to get better this week. Not a whole lot of time to do it, but we got to get better this week. And Derek's a good player. I think the defenses kind of dictate a little bit as far as what we do. I mean, we're not going to just ram him up into a whole bunch of people. So we got to get creative with trying to get as much space as we can to give him some space to be able to operate. He's pretty good in the open field.
Dana, as a follow-up to that, he said the other night, he's such a competitor, and he said that, this is going to take time, but do you sense a little that competitiveness and where kind of wants this to go a little bit, the learning process to go a little bit faster when, it's going to be a process?
Yeah, it's football. What are you going to do about it? You're going to get out there and you're going to practice, and you look forward to the next game and you're going to go play. So we buried that one 2 days ago. I really don't want to talk about what's happened. I want to talk about what's in front of us. We're up here late Saturday night prepping for Tulane. Got off the practice field last night at 9 o'clock. Get back out there tonight, and we're going to load up here in a couple of days and go to New Orleans and try to beat a good Tulane team. They're really good. They got momentum. They won a bowl game last year. They're 2-1 and they played Auburn tough. So these guys are pretty good. So we gotta prepare hard, and we gotta go play good.
And what are the challenges from a strategy standpoint, from a health standpoint, of having so many games and now this game coming up in just a couple of days?
I reminded our guys that nobody cares about any of that. So after this one's over on Thursday, we got one game in 22 days, so we got lots of time to be able to recuperate. We've talked about this, and we've put a plan together, and it's we're not supposed to go win because we're underdogs, and this has been a challenging what's going to amount to 4 games in 18 days. I mean, nobody can do anything about the schedule. I mean, we're going to play one game in our home stadium and a lot of games on the road against really good, high quality teams that have won a lot of games this year. So just don't think about it. Don't worry about it. Just go practice and go prepare and go play to the best of your ability, which I think we will.
Coach Terrence Edgerton went down in the game Friday night. Per your rules, can you just at least clarify he's not done for the year?
Yeah, he's day to day.
Okay.
Now Carmouche is going to have shoulder surgery this week, so he's done for the year. But Terrence is not. He's got a high ankle, and he's going to be day to day.
To build off that, excuse me, Zamar Curvin played a lot of snaps. How did you feel he did?
I thought he did good. It's why this is a week-to-week discussion. A week ago, I sat here and said we wanted to redshirt Curvin, and then we lose Carmouche and we lose Edgerton. So what do? You play him. I mean, we're not going to – I'd like to redshirt every kid that has one available, but that's just not the realities of football. You got to play who's available. And I thought Zamar went in there and played really well. I mean, he acted like he belonged. He looked like he belonged. For not having a ton of reps, he didn't play hardly at all last year. Burned his year. It's unfortunate. He's been playing. We haven't had him on scout team or anything like that. We've had him ready to play. We just didn't want to unless we had to, and we had to. So there you have it.
And who did you say had shoulder surgery?
Jordan Carmouche. Jordan Carmouche.
Dana's along the lines of comings and goings, last week it was announced that Jordan had gotten reinstated. I was curious from a standpoint of how much he did in camp and where he's at in the progression of being available. Did he get a lot of reps in camp, and do you feel like this is, is he close to being able to play, or do you think you need some time now that he's back?
We'll have to look at it. I sat here and said guys earn playing time by how they practice. Well, he didn't practice, so we didn't play him. I mean, what are you going to do? Right, so we have him back this week, so we practiced him yesterday, and he got reps. We'll practice him again today, and we'll look at it and see what kind of reps that he deserves based on how he practices. I mean, it's as simple as that. I don't know what else to say.
When he wasn't with me, there was no practice until
No, yeah, we've stated that, and he hasn't been a part of the team for a while, and he's been reinstated, and now we're going to practice him. Those were circumstances out of my control. So we'll see how he did last night and today, and we'll play him accordingly.
What type of growth have you seen from the defense up to this point?
I think we've improved. I really do. If you look, game one, tackling was a problem. Last game, I thought we tackled really well. There was a lot of with what Washington State does, there's a lot of space, and they do such a good job up front of protecting that they're going to put the ball in play, and then we got to go tackle in space. And I thought that's the best that we've looked. We executed better. We communicated better. It's a work in progress, and it's going to take some time. But I thought we got better from game one to game two, and from game two to game three. And the biggest thing is knowing what your assignment is, being in position to make the play, and then make the play. And I thought we did a good job of that.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about Derek Parrish's evolving role, but I think it may end up coming back to what we just talked about. He seemed to play more linebacker this week, and you guys also moved him around some. Is that health because of Carmouche and the others being down, or is that you guys tinkering a bit and seeing what he can do?
Well, that's just more scheme than anything. We had to do some things defensively to, try to create pressure. Those guys are so good at identifying fronts. If you line up in a 4-down front, just rush, they're going to block you pretty easily. So we did some things with some of the DNs to be able to play linebacker. We're not moving guys. I mean, Anini played some linebacker. Parrish played some linebacker. Duke played some linebacker. But they're not linebackers, they're DNs. Okay, we just did that by switching to a 3-down front to try to create some gaps and some confusion. And Anini got there a couple of times. And Derek's a hard worker, but we didn't change our scheme from a 4-down to a 3-down. Joe's made reference that we will play 3-down at times. It just depends on who we play and what schemes we decide that we're going to go into the game with.
I also wanted to ask Coach about the snaps. It seemed like Derek had to jump a lot for snaps. I know that's situational. It'll come and go. Are there things you guys can do to address that and work with Braylon some on that during the week?
Yeah, Braylon is still a first-year center. And I think he's doing a superb job of identifying fronts. He looks more comfortable to me every week. He's targeting things well. He's blocking well, he's moving well, he's getting in space well. His snaps are still a little bit of a work in progress here. And, that is disruptive to a quarterback. I mean, if you got to sit there and you got to look at it and you can't, periph anything and you can't get your eyes on your first read or whatever it is, the fronts or the reads or whatever, and you got to do that, that puts your quarterback in a disadvantage. And I thought Derek, obviously he's athletic, but he did a good job of handling that. But it's disruptive. Some of Derek's throws were a little off based on the fact that he couldn't get his feet where they needed to be set in time to be able to throw it. So, we got to keep practicing that and make it better. It's unacceptable, and we're going to work hard on trying to get that taken care of here this week.